My name is Justin Panzer, and I'm going to introduce you to Eventuosity. And Eventuosity is the first cloud-based end-to-end application for event planning and event management that is really geared toward the end event planner, the trade show manager, the corporate meeting manager, the sales admin, somebody you know that probably looks a little bit like this, which is dealing with a binder, a lot of spreadsheets, chasing people down for all kinds of travel information to know when they're showing up for the meeting, and is still getting headaches all the time because their people aren't where they're supposed to be. So this is actually my friend Kim, who is a trade show manager. This is one of her binders and a couple of screenshots of her spreadsheets and binders. But enough slides. That's all I wanted to show you of that. And then let's take a look at the app itself. So this is Eventuosity as we log in. Everything takes us to this dashboard. And from our dashboard, it follows kind of a user flow, a workflow, an event. Now, somebody like Kim, her event only starts after registration. When she registers with the association that is putting on her trade show, that's when her work really begins. She has a lot to do with her company inside that organization to get things moving. So although the association has created a trade show, Kim now has to create the show plan for her team. And you can see here, when we walk into our events through the dashboard, we get to some that we've already created. And this is one that Kim didn't do. Actually, I did earlier this year. It's Exhibitor 2014, and we like it because it's a trade show for trade show people. So although we talk about a lot of different events, I mentioned sales meetings and training conferences and things, I love trade shows as an example for this because there's so many moving parts to it. So we'll walk through the trade show example real quick, and this is Exhibitor. This was held in Las Vegas. And the what is something that I can pull from a drop-down menu that has some templates or has some things that I created for myself previously. I can tweak these things, I can save them as is, I can do whatever I want, I can create new event types. So basically it has the flexibility to work any way I want or with whatever type of events that I plan. In this case, I gave it a name, Exhibitor, and I moved into the when. And I have some dates here. The way I like to plan events is I put the start date actually as my first planning meeting. The first time I call the whole team together of product managers and say, hey, let's talk about what we're going to show at the event in 6 months. Then this is the actual date of the end event. Everybody does this a little bit differently. This is my preferred way of moving through it. We go to where. Where is nice because everything is Google Maps integrated, and we're always trying to get our people to one place. They've got to come from a lot of different airports, from different cities, from different countries. They have to get into this trade show. For us, at the highest level of the show, we had 3 places we needed everybody to know about. The Las Vegas airport, the Tropicana, which is the hotel that we were staying, and the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Convention Center, which is where the show was actually going to be. The nice thing about this is now all of my people have this on their mobile device, so when they land at the airport, they can immediately click. Everything goes to their Google Maps or their iOS mapping application, and off they go. So I know that they're not going to text me and say, hey, where's that meeting again? Now, of course, the most important thing in events is going to be the people. And you can see here, this is just a small list. This is my contact list. Now, I don't have my entire contact list in here, but that's obviously something that we're capable to do. I just put a small list in here so you can see everything. I can search these people all the time, and this is my whole pool of people I can make attendees. I can create them from scratch if for any reason they're not already in my Outlook or my iOS or Android device. I just create them from scratch here. And I can add custom fields to them, things like maybe if I'm booking a room block and I want to get their credit card number, or I need their frequent flyer information so I can make their reservations for them, or I can even add some documents here. If we've got somebody coming in to speak at our conference, maybe I want to put their press photo, their bio, their presentation that they're going to be giving today. I can put all of those things in here. And again, this is a manual example because this is somebody I might have to add last minute. But of course, I've got my whole list of available people there that come from my contact list. And you can see down here, these are the attendees that I've already selected. I can always add somebody else. This is my coworker, Matt. And Matt is now part of my event. So at any time, I can, he's going to kill me because he just received an email that said he's invited to this event. I can group all sorts of people as well. And you can see here, because we're doing a trade show, I've already pulled my group of product managers in. These are all the people that are going to be working at my trade show booth. I could also make a separate category for my, my conference speakers. If I'm doing a training event, I can do separate categories for all my students as opposed to all of my instructors. That way I can communicate to the right group at the right time, and I cannot bother people with things that they don't need to know and confuse people further about all of the things that are moving around with our event. Sorry, bad scroll. Tasks. Very simple. This is a task list. We have the ability to create these from scratch as well at any point, create a new task, or I can upload some things in here using a CSV, Excel file, whatever. I can put these all in. And again, in my templates, I have some of these that are built that, sticking with our trade show example, I have something that says I need to finalize my artwork. I need to set up my demo strategy. I need to order the new booth. I need to ship the booth to the warehouse, etc. I can look at them by what's complete, what's incomplete. I can assign them to myself. I can assign them to others. I can always edit them and change dates and all kinds of things. And of course, I can shoot reminders off to whoever's in here assigned to this event task. One of my favorite things, though, is the schedule. And we can look at the schedule. This is everything that's going on. So we talk about a single event, but underneath that event, think about all of the things that are happening. If any of you have ever gone to a trade show or gone to that corporate sales meeting that happens every quarter, you know that there are sub-events, there are training courses, there are conference sessions, there are meetings with customers. Those things are all in here, and I can view them in a list, or I can view them in my calendar view like that. And of course, I can always export these things. We're going to be working in a couple of months on a two-way sync. For now, I just go up here and I click and I tell it where I want everything to go. So I can put this in my Outlook or my Google Calendar, and I have access to it all the time. The nice thing as well about these events is that if they're taking place off-site, this one happens to also be at the Mandalay Bay Convention Center, which I already put in there, but I can always add a different location and tell all of my salespeople, okay, we're going to have a meeting with a customer at the Bellagio. So we're going to drive down the street, and that will be here in here as well, just like everything else was in the event at the macro level. So I can add more attendees. I can put them in here. I can take a subset of my whole attendee group that's going to the event, and I can put them in sub-events, and you can see some of them are here and confirmed already. And then I'm going to take Kim's big event binder, and I'm going to put it all in here. And this is an example of our event management, our convention management company. Freeman, if any of you are familiar with events, know that Freeman is a very big convention management company that gives lots of forms out to every exhibitor that's going to come to their trade show, or has AV forms and all kinds of things you have to fill out before you go to the hotel where your event is taking place. I can pre-populate with all of those forms. I can assign deadlines against all of these things, so I'm not missing anything. I'm taking advantage of all of my early bird specials and things like that. I make sure that I have my internet connections all set up and things along those lines. In addition to all of these things, I've got my taskbar so I can skip around. Like I said, I'm following this in a workflow that's pretty comfortable to me, dates in the way that I like to work with them, but you can easily jump from section to section here, add new attendees, add new dates to a past event or a future event. Right from this one, if you want to duplicate an event that's in Exhibitor, but it has to go into an event for next year, we can do that as well. I can recreate Exhibitor for 2015. I can take my quarterly sales meeting and I can recreate it for the next quarter. But I've also got inbox, chat messages, all kinds of things that I can do, so I can keep on top of my team at all times. I can send out push notifications. Hey, we're running 10 minutes early. Please get to the conference hall so you can plug in and get ready to go. Other than that, there are lots of things we can attach here. There are lots of little add-ons for product or for marketing managers and event managers that they really seem to like, that take all of these spreadsheets and everything else and make this an actual automated process that we can repeat over and over and over again. I can share a couple of little stories about that, but I think what I'll do is leave it there at the end of the demo and kind of open it up for questions. And if there's anything else that we want to see, we can look at that as we go.
Real quick, Jess.
Yeah, so the question is there a personalized app for and view for the attendees? So, and the answer is yes. So any attendee will get an email that says you've been added to this event or you've been assigned this task or whatever it may be. They'll get a link that takes them into this. They do not have to have an account, but you know, we encourage them obviously to set one up. It's still free to them, and they see most of what's in here. They won't see the reports, they won't see the binder, they'll see their own profile, the events that they're assigned to, so they get a subset of what the administrator is seeing. So the question is, would the attendees have an option to connect with each other? So we've got the chat, we've got the email, we've got push notifications. Is there a different kind of connecting? Yeah, so this is not designed for that. There are other apps that are used at a lot of events that are more social in nature. There are lead capture tools and things like that. We've actually got a couple of pending partnerships with companies that fit in both categories. We don't want to recreate that. It's already been done. But we do want to have the ability to integrate back and forth. So we're working on some of that right now. Yeah, so the question was, can it be used by a venue? And actually on Saturday, I'm meeting with a friend of mine who's the general manager of a golf resort. And that's exactly what she wants to do, is have this they hold tons of meetings, tons of corporate retreats there. And there are a lot of things that when they set up the meeting with the corporate event planner, there's a whole checklist of things that they have to do. What we're working on for her is basically a one-button API push that puts all of her documents and to-do lists and task lists and deadlines in here, and then we deliver it out to the end user. And we'll be making that generic enough that pretty much any venue, convention management company, trade show association can use. Right, so right now, the way that it would work, there is no automated interface to Eventbrite. You can get an export of your attendee list from something like Eventbrite and put it in here to begin your planning process. Now we're looking, there are a lot of Eventbrite type companies out there, TicketLeap on a larger scale, Cvent, things like that. And we're looking at the most effective, most generic way to be able to connect with those, because there are so many different kinds that otherwise it would be just constant one-offs. Yeah, actually, it's a good question. So budgeting should be in there by October. The reason that it's not today is that we thought it was too, the way we were building it with this was a little bit too simplistic. So we're looking at one, a front-end budgeting, two, kind of a back-end expense tracking, and then a a reconciliation of the two. And we're also looking at a couple of different APIs that would work with travel and expense apps, so that we can automate the process to take it into another tool.
That'd be huge.
Yeah, so that's coming. That's like the first thing after our September 1 launch. Yep.
And let's give Eventuosity a hand.